It is a random Tuesday in early April. You have a physical folder on your desk or a digital folder sitting ominously on your computer desktop that you are actively pretending does not exist. Every time your eyes brush past it, your chest tightens. You know exactly what it is, and you know that the deadline is closing in, but instead of opening it, you suddenly feel the urgent need to deep clean your kitchen, organize your sock drawer, or reply to emails you have ignored for weeks. If the mere thought of tax season sends you into a spiral of avoidance, anxiety, and profound dread, you are not uniquely financially irresponsible. You are experiencing a high specific documented psychological collision between cognitive overload, authority anxiety, and the terrifying vulnerability of looking in the mirror. The first thing you have to understand is that your brain does not view taxes as a math problem. If it were just math, you would have done it months ago. Your brain views tax as a massive, high stakes threat to your safety. For a cognitive perspective, preparing your tax requires an exhausting amount of executive function. You have to locate, scare documents, and organize months of chaotic, abstract data into rigid boxes. For a nervous system that is already running near its maximum capacity just dealing with modern life, this isn't just a chore. It is a catastrophic cognitive overload. Your brain looks at the W2 and immediately categorizes the task as danger, initiating an avoidance response that feels entirely impossible to override. But the dread goes much deeper than just paperwork. We have to talk about authority anxiety. When you file your tax, you are interacting with a faceless, omnipresent entity that holds genuine life altering power over your freedom and your livelihood. Psychologists sometimes refer to this dynamic using the concept of the Panopticon, the chilling sensation of being watched by an authority figure who can punish you for a mistake you don't even know you made. You are not just afraid of owing money, you are terrified that you checked the wrong box on your page for, and because of that innocent mistake, you are going to be audited, ruined, and exposed as a fraud. This triggers a very primal childhood fear of getting in trouble with an unpredictable and appeasable authority when you are essentially frozen, caged between the fear of doing it wrong and the fear of not doing it at all. And then there is the most painful layer of all, the annual financial mirror. For many people, money is completely entangled with their sense of self worth, shame, and emotional safety. Doing your taxes forces you to sit down and stare at a rigid numerical summary of your entire year. It forces you to look at how much you actually made versus how much you thought you were going to make. It brings the ghost of the business idea that didn't take off, the medical bills you struggled to pay, or the impulse spending you used to cope with a period of severe depression. You are not organizing numbers, you are being forced to emotionally process a year's worth of financial trauma, unmet expectations, and survival decisions all at once. It is the profound dread of having to physically quantify your perceived failures. Because this task is so emotionally radioactive, you do what any normal human would do, you procrastinate. But we need to completely redefine what procrastination actually is in this context. It is not a time management problem, it is an emotion regulation problem. When you avoid your taxes, you are temporarily relieving the intense anxiety and shame associated with them. Your brain rewards you with a tiny, immediate hit of relief when you close the laptop and walk away. But this traps you in what psychologists call the Zeigarnik effect. The Zeigarnik effect dictates that human beings remember uncompleted tasks far more vividly than completed ones. So, by putting off the paperwork, you create a massive, invisible background hum of anxiety that drains your daily energy for weeks on end. You are ruining your present peace just to delay a future pain. To break out of this psychological gridlock, you have to aggressively detach your moral value from this administrative task. You have to strip the emotion out of the math. When the panic rises, you must remind your nervous system that a tax return is not a moral report card. It is a cold, historical document. It does not dictate your value as a human being. It does not predict your future success, and making a mathematical error does not make you a terrible person. It simply makes you a normal human navigating a needlessly complicated bureaucratic system designed by people who don't even know you. The only way to bypass this paralysis is to lower the barrier to entry until it is almost comical. Do not tell yourself, I am going to make my taxes today. That is a massive threatening command that your brain will instantly reject. Tell yourself, I am going to just open the folder. That is it. Tell yourself, I am going to put all the recepts in one pile. You have to trick your amygdala by moving so slowly and in such tiny, non threatening increments that it doesn't sound the alarm. You take the emotion out of the driver's seat, you focus only on the very next physical micro step, and you quietly reclaim your power from the paperwork. You are perfectly capable of surviving this, and the exact moment it is submitted, that crushing background hum of dread will vanish instantly. Take a deep breath, open the folder, and I will see you in the next one.